Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. I am Missy Renee, and here we talk about manifesting and how to do it, how to properly apply it, so that way you can have the life that you've always dreamed of. So this video is going to be the first of many, and I'm going to specifically create a playlist that is going to be all of the fundamentals of manifesting. And so this will be number one. And this was number one because it's the most crucial to understand if you want to manifest and do it correctly, the way that Neville Goddard taught. So, for those of you that are new here, I am an avid follower of Neville Goddard, and a little bit more about me. Excuse me.
So, from what I've learned, Neville Goddard is kind of like the OG to bring the manifestation to like modern-ish times. I think he was in 1920s, 1950s. Actually, let me get it up. And that didn't work. Yeah, 1905 to 1972. Uh, yeah, he's kind of like the original OG in the West. Manifestation, at least the philosophy of it's been around for thousands of years. And yeah, so he's she's known to be very well read in this, so for watching this. All right, let's continue.
A little bit more about me. I have been practicing manifesting for the last 10 years. I have studied everything out there that there is to study. I have read all of the books. I have scanned all of the websites, all of the forums, all of the YouTube videos. I've studied all of it. And I will tell you, Neville Goddard, hands down, has been the highest success rate at almost 100%, if not 100% of the time, I'm able to manifest using his techniques. So that's what I'm going to be teaching on this channel because I want you guys to be able to avoid the years of frustration that I had to deal with figuring it all out. So in this video today specifically, we are going to go into the mind and how the mind works to manifest. And this may be a bit much. I'm going to try to break it down into the smallest bite-sized pieces for all of you to understand, but feel free to leave any questions that you have in the comments below, and I absolutely will answer as many as I can. I want you guys to be able to grasp this. My goal at the end of all of this is to spread this truth that I've found that has completely changed my life in ways that it would take forever to explain. I could write a book on how my life is transformed because of these teachings, and I feel not enough people out there are aware of this. And instead, we have a lot of these mainstream law of attraction coaches that are preaching a bunch of fairy dust, is the best way to describe it. It's
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way here. The I've been looking into this for several years myself, uh, with like Wayne Dyer and Sheep Pop. I guess. Oh, I'm going by that name. Anyways, and yeah, was looking several years in this, and it's pretty interesting. I'm still trying to figure out after all these years. So it's like she says, it's several years, and a lot of it. Not to get too heavy into it, but there's a lot of teaching on acts like meditating and stuff like that. I just recently found Neville Gardner myself, and like her, it's just spreading the news out there. I mean, it's this is all basically learning uh responsibility for yourself, for your emotions, not exactly your being happy and feeling all happy and trying to be happy all the time. You're allowed to feel negative emotions and stuff like that. But yeah, so just trying to help spread the word here. I mean, if it helps anyone to learn to control the emotions and not get angry and punch walls and instead have a lot better day, I mean, it's worth it. It's it's worth it, especially in the everything's going around. All right, let's get it.
Fluffy, it's catchy, it's cute, but it doesn't work, or it's really confusing the way that they put it and the way that they explain it. It's not that every law of attraction coach is off center, it's that there are a lot of misconceptions going around, and those misconceptions can hold you back. They can take time out of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. So I'm here to try to clear all that up. I'm here to spread the word of Neville Goddard, because by far he's been what's worked for me and thousands of other people. I mean, you can look up the testimonies out there. It's ridiculous how many lives he's changed. So, getting into it, we are talking about the mind and how to manifest. This is going to be the how does it work video. So, a quote from Neville Goddard to start this all off, and I'm going to be reading off of my handy dandy sheet here. I'm going to be cheating a little bit because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's both front and back. And that's the only one of a couple pages that I've got. And I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. But to quote Neville here, the world and all within it, the world and all within it is man's conditioned consciousness objectified. The world and all within it is man's conditioned consciousness objectified. What does that mean? Well, everything that you're experiencing is through your consciousness. So the biggest point that Neville tried to get across was that your consciousness creates your reality, and your imagination creates your reality. What you are aware of, what you assume to be, will be. And that's like the broadest way that I can describe it, but we're going to go in a little bit deeper. Neville said that consciousness is the one and only.
And this kind of goes back to about my thing with manifestation is learning to see things like the glass half full and the glass half empty. You notice a lot of people who see the glass half full tend to smile more and be have a better day. But at the same time, this isn't putting blindfolds on and to be like, I'm having a sad day, but I must be happy. No, you can't have a bad day. It's just it you don't get triggered, and which just helps. You don't get triggered, and you just have a lot better day. I should say, you don't get negatively triggered. We as humans also have good triggers. If you think about it, like when your cat or dog comes over for to play and stuff, you get happy. So that's a good trigger. You want to keep them happy, like cat purring. Now you want to keep petting the cat and just purrs and purrs and purrs. It get triggered in a good way. So
Reality, not figuratively speaking, but literally. Consciousness is the one and only reality. So your consciousness is all that exists in your universe. And for the sake of clarity, we're going to dive into the two minds, your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, and how these two minds create your reality. Because in order to successfully operate the ability to manifest, you need to be able to understand the relationship between the conscious and subconscious mind. So, your conscious mind is your creative mind. That is the mind that is connected to your personal identity, your spirituality. The conscious mind is what makes all of us unique. Everyone has a unique conscious mind. That's the one that says, I am so and so. I am Missy Renee. I am Bill Gates. You get the point. One very important distinction about the conscious mind is that it is very personal and selective. What this means is basically Your conscious mind is the one that, when you are trying to affirm something, this is where a lot of people will get caught up with affirmations, or this is the hiccup that I found with a lot of people with affirmations and intentions. Your conscious mind is selective. It acts almost as a gatekeeper to the subconscious mind. And we're going to get into the subconscious mind in just a second. But this is really important, so pay attention and take notes. Your conscious mind is very personal and selective. And if there are thoughts that go in that your conscious mind disagrees with, it's going to try to knock those away from the subconscious. And here's why it's super important. Your subconscious mind is your programmed mind. It is your habit mind. It is your non-selective and impersonal mind. This basically means that whatever is accepted by the subconscious will be taken as fact. Your subconscious can't tell the difference between a dream, an imaginal act, and an event that really did happen. It can't differentiate between.
Ever had those dreams where you wake up screaming, screaming and punching? I know I did. I I had I forgot what it was, but I can't. My cat sleeps with me on the bed, and I can't. And I wake up with my foot in the air, and she's on the ground. Just staring at me like, "What happened?" It's like, "Whoops." Didn't I meant that? It's kind of like, yeah, you're, you don't realize that it's not real, but your body acts like it's real. So you react when you sleep. So there we go.
Between those. That is one of the functions of your conscious mind. Your conscious mind will act as the gatekeeper because that is the one that's tied to your personal identity. That's the one that's tied to your beliefs. That's the one that's tied to the way that you think, your assumptions. So anytime that there's a thought that doesn't align with those, it's supposed to be guarded out by the conscious mind. And this is how we end up in patterns and habitual acts for repeat, 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 repeat. This is how we tend to get ourselves into cycles that are very hard to break. It's right here, your subconscious mind's programs that were accepted by your conscious. So why is it important to know about these minds, and why is it important when it comes to manifesting? Well, your subconscious mind is the mind that creates your reality. And this is probably the hardest pill for a lot of people to swallow when they're new to this, but your subconscious mind is the mind that creates your 3D world, your outside reality. We don't know and understand exactly how it does this, but what I have discovered time and time again, and so have countless other people, and this is what Neville really pushed, was that your subconscious, whatever is pressed onto your subconscious mind, will appear in your 3D reality. The best way that I like to describe the subconscious mind is, think of it akin to a tape player. A tape player is not objective. A tape player is not going to reject anything that you try to record onto it. It's just going to record what you put on it and then play it back. That's it. That's literally its job. That's its function. And that's the same with your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is akin to a tape player, a computer. It serves one function, and that is to take whatever is programmed on it and refract it. This is also the mind that you use to breathe and your everyday functions that you don't consciously have to think about. You just naturally do it, or you would die. So here's how the two minds work together to create your reality. And this is the kicker. This is the meat. This is the everything to understand. How your two minds work to create your reality, because they are a duality. They go together to create everything that is around you. Your subconscious mind.
Oh, hey, potato. This is learning how to manifest. It's basically your thoughts make reality. It uses like Neville Guard teachings. And thank you for joining. This is my debut stream. So So you're the first member. Thanks.
Is the one that refracts, yes, but your conscious mind is the one that you use to impress onto the subconscious mind. So the conscious mind generates the ideas and impresses these ideas onto the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind receives these ideas and gives form and expression to them, aka your reality. So again, your conscious mind generates the ideas and impresses them onto the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind receives these ideas and gives them form and expression through your outside world. And in a way that we don't know how it works, and it's not our job to know how it works, but in a way that we don't understand, your subconscious mind will refract those ideas into your reality, and that's how you manifest. See, you're manifesting all the time, whether you are consciously aware of it or not. You always have been, you always will be. This is just a way for us to understand and deliberately create what we want. So, to deliberately manifest and to deliberately create the life that we want, the most important thing to understand that since the subconscious mind accepts what the conscious mind believes to be true, all of this comes down to if you can control what is put into your subconscious, what is impressed into your subconscious, you will be able to refract out there whatever it is that you actually want to have in your 3D world. Now, how do we do this? How do we impress the subconscious mind? Well, Neville says it's through our imagination. Through our imagination, we can create the reality that we want, and that is how we manifest. So, diving in a little bit deeper, I want to go.
So like she was getting on before, where we are manifesting all the time. Uh, I you ever get the feeling like something bad's going to happen? Like you just know the teacup's going to fall, or something going to run into your car. Is that's the thing? You're probably manifesting that. Yeah, and this is kind of taking away that so you can control it. So instead of the car hitting your another car hitting your car, you can think positively and that it misses the car. Again, this is the first episode, so there's like 12 other to explain this. My goal here again is to just spread the word and help people not get how you say triggered on the bad things and focus more on getting triggered for the good things. Like when I say getting triggered for good things, you know, if you ever come home and your cat comes up and starts purring, you're triggered to pet it, to keep it purring, love on it. Same thing when you see your friends, you just want to hug them and stuff like that. So yeah.
Go into how these ideas are expressed. Ideas are expressed to the subconscious mind through the medium of feeling. And once impressed, these feelings will begin to take form in the 3D tangible world. That being said, it's really important to be consciously aware of your feelings and your assumptions and what Neville refers to as your state of being. We're going to go into that a bit more into the next videos, why states are super important and how to transfer between different states of being. But understand that once the feeling is impressed onto the subconscious mind, it begins to take root and take form. But it is important to try not to dwell in the imperfections of your current state or what you don't want. You don't want to dwell on anything that contradicts your desires. And I'm going to show in later videos how to go about doing that and easier ways to doing it, because people who are new to Neville's teachings and people who are new to the world of manifesting in general tend to have a very hard time with the concepts and how incredibly simple they are. They are so simple, but it does take some careful observing and conscious awareness of what you're putting into your subconscious mind, because your conscious brain is always impressing and implanting into your subconscious.
Yeah, so I've experienced this myself. I have uh don't want okay. So yeah, I personally man, whew, you get that downward spiral. Say you lose your job, and then next thing you know, well, I lost my job. I'm going to lose my house. Going to live on the street, homeless. You just get that big mental downward spiral. And what she's talking about is stopping that. To what she was talking about, ignoring reality. You still realize the realities. Like, yeah, I lost my job, but I can get another one. I have friends, and family that will let me sleep on the floor if I lose my house. I I know I can always count on people get handing me food and stuff from friends, family, and others. So I'm not going to let this really trigger me into downward depression where I just break and crash and lash out. Instead, I realize that was an issue, but I can overcome it.
So, which of our feelings then are expressed? If we have conflicting feelings throughout the day, which is going to be the one that ultimately manifests? It's going to be the feeling that is the most dominant. Whichever feeling gets the most focused, the most attention, and the most dominantly felt is going to be the one that manifests. An important note from Neville, a quote from Neville that ties this all in: sensation precedes manifestation and is the foundation upon which all manifestation rests. Be careful of your moods and feelings, for there is an unbroken connection between your feelings and the visible world. So, another thing that I'd like to note, and another thing that this points to, is that there is no such thing as chance or accident. Nothing happens by coincidence in your world. Subconscious impressions are the thing that creates your reality. Just remember, your subconscious mind is not selective and it's not personal. It's going to accept and impress whichever thought is put onto it. It never alters the accepted belief. It will always accept as true that which is impressed upon it. So that means that all of the events of your life, all the things that have happened, wanted or unwanted, is the result of the subconscious impressions. It's by your own doing, and this is probably the first and most difficult things for people to accept. You have
Yeah, that was a big difficult because this is admitting responsibility for your life, like even for the bad stuff. In fact, I recently was laid off from my job, and hearing that it was my fault that the entire department got laid off and stuff because that's the reality I wanted was hard to hear. Um, it's one of those things that I just want a little bit money, and they all came crashing down. I'll get the it. We'll walk through that later, and as we go through this, there's a reason. It's something called like a negative feedback as you try to like clear your thoughts. But again, when she says there's no randomness, it's all connected. I definitely saw that because I was looking to get into a tech job myself, and it just so happened that me and another friend helped this lady change her tire, and that lady was a makeup artist, and I was just getting into cosplay. So, and being a guy, I have no idea about makeup. So I want to do these characters, and you have to have all this makeup and eyeshadow stuff, especially with the male characters, get the right look. So I was like, yeah, I'll join her class, and I started working with her in like the health field and special effects. Uh, the health field, surprisingly enough, uses makeup artists like plastic surgeries and stuff. Uh, Women don't believe that the face is going to look like someone beat it with a meat cleaver after they had plastic surgery. At least some of them. One of them planned a wedding just a few hours afterwards, and she was crying and stuff. So they called for us to come in, and we made her look good. It wasn't. We did the best. She was she looked normal with makeup. That's which was a huge improvement from this red raw skin that had just gone through surgery. So it was those type of situations. They actually get to call us, and we we help them. We console them. It's kind of like part therapy because you have to console them and stuff. And I digress. But through that, her husband learned of my dedication and work ethic, so he hired me into a tech job which immediately it was low, actually one of the highest paying jobs even when I was starting. We're talking about like 30-40,000. This was very high paying for actually very little work. And then I ended up almost making six figures in like a year or two with experience. So it, there's no coincidence that meeting her led to my dream job that I always wanted in tech. It's just as you go through this and do it for yourself, you'll learn there's some crazy stuff that will happen. You would never believe what's going on, and it will lead you to some really weird stuff. In fact, there's a technique from Neville Garter, and all this you try it out for yourself. Even if you don't believe it, you'd be like, I don't believe this, but I'm just going to do it to prove you wrong, bet. And again, my namesake, I bet it will work. the the technique is I will not climb a ladder. You just keep saying that. You just wake up, go to sleep, going, I will not climb a ladder. And you probably in a week, you're going to climb a ladder somewhere, somehow.
Have to take responsibility for what happens in your life. And I know that this is a hard pill for some people, but it really comes down to everything that is created in your world was once an impression on your subconscious mind. The last crucial note that I want to make in this video when it comes to how to impress onto your subconscious, how to deliberately manifest, take notes on this one. When you're defining an objective or a desire, you don't want to worry about the how it's going to happen. That's not your circus, those aren't your monkeys. Don't worry about it. Especially when you're just getting started out, you want to assume the feeling of having whatever it is that you desire and leave the rest to the subconscious mind. Furthermore, you have to be careful of trying to figure out how something is going to manifest and figure out how something is going to work. Or trying to think about all the ways to do it or think about all the ways that problems can occur, you are impressing that onto your subconscious as well. So if you are desiring something and you're spinning your wheels as to how you're going to get this thing and you're thinking of all these things that could go wrong, then they're all going to go wrong. Everything that's impressed on the subconscious will refract. So if you think that your desire is difficult to obtain, that's the experience you're going to have. You're going to have a hard time obtaining your desire because you're thinking about how difficult it is and how the odds are stacked against you and all of these other things. So right off the bat, last thing I want to really push on you guys before I end this video is that don't worry about the hows and the odds and all of the things that, even if it looks like there's the world fighting against you and all the different ways it can go wrong, don't focus on that because that will just impress as well. A lot of the times I see people getting hung up on their manifestations because they're thinking about all the different scenarios and all the different ways that things could happen, and they're wondering if they're doing it right, and they're saying that it's so hard to do this, and it's going to be impossible to pull this off, you're putting all of that under your subconscious, and with that, it's going to be true. You're going to find that it's going to be extremely difficult if those are the thoughts that are going into your subconscious mind. So anyways, thank you guys for tuning into this video. I felt it extremely necessary to really understand and dive into the mind and how we use it to manifest. If you guys found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Hit the bell icon below so that way you are updated every time I put out new content. I am a brand new YouTube channel, but I have been doing this for a very long time. And if you are interested in getting more resources and more information, my blog, my coaching website, I have all that information in the description box below. So check it out. I've also included some of Neville's lectures and ebooks that are online for free. If you have not yet read Neville Goddard's work, I strongly encourage you to do so. I'll have that information also in the description box below. And if you have any questions for me or anything that you would like me to talk about in future videos, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I love to go into more details, and this is something that I am very passionate about. This is something that is truly important to me, is getting these messages out there and getting these truths out there, because I know that the internet is saturated with a lot of stuff, but I'm telling you, just try it. Just try the techniques that you will learn in these videos. And again, this video is going to be included in a playlist that I call the Manifestation Fundamentals. So if you are interested in learning the bottom line foundation of how to manifest, check that playlist out. I will also have it linked in the description below. And anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. And until next time,
So my overall plan is to watch 2 of these, mainly because this is a really heavy subject. If you opt to go and read the Neville Goddard's and Missy Renee, if you go and look her up uh, and read and see what she's doing, this is really a heavy subject, and especially it's basically learning a new skill. The skill, just like learning the skill to invest or save money, is a skill. This is basically learning a skill of controlling your emotions and thought.